Welcome to Yeshiva Daf Shir sponsor Louis Nishman Sam Yakashom Now Basitzchok. We're holding in Metzia Daf Kuf Aleph. This was the daf that was given on Shabbos. We're starting the Mishnah Kuf with Beis Labayim. Hamoichu Zeisov le'etzim. Someone sells his olive trees for the buyer to take the wood and use the wood. Also pachos mirivis l'sale. And the owner, the new owner, was supposed to take the wood and use the branches. But until he took the wood, the tree grew some olives that created a little bit of amount of oil. They belong to the owner of the zaysim. Also revis l'sale, but if they did a revis, now they're arguing. Who made these olives? The owner of the tree says, it's my tree. The owner of the land says, yeah, but your tree was no tree from my land. Similarly, you have a person that has trees, a zaysim, and it was flown, there was water that came and flooded it into the field. And it stayed in the field and grew over there. So now the trees start growing, they're connected to the new ground. And the owner of the tree says, my trees. So the other one says, my land gave them the nutrition. You divide. So what's the case? If the owner told him, go cut the tree. I don't let you leave the tree in my land. I feel maybe he's not a balakaka. He says, if you leave it here, I take it. That's the agreement. If the owner of the kolim is the bias, he says, well, you can leave it there and cut whatever you want. If the revis, not the balazes, the kolim even revis, the balazes you should take. He says, well, the tree kodom relay stone. He didn't say anything. Well, this revis to kabdin, she's not makbid. He says, take it for yourself. Revis kabdin, she says, you know what? I want that portion. I deserve it. Oh, shir bazir rishomu when daf kufal v'mudalef chutz mi'aitzah means revis needs to be pure revis, not including the expenses to get the revis, which means to cut the olives and to squeeze them. So the Gemara, Shodav is now Zaysov if the river took the zaysim and washed them into the field. So here we have, let's understand what the Gemara is trying to get to. When you have a tree that was planted in a field, a new tree, the first 3 years you can't enjoy it. Why? It's arla. So here, the owner of the land, he has new trees that came here. So first of all, before anything else, as Place points out, if we shouldn't have a discussion, we'll try to keep it as simple in the Gemara. How can you even enjoy these olives of the tree? The tree that was flown into the field. The tree has it's a din of arla. Elama, says the Gemara, you're talking about here that the tree didn't come along. The tree came with its gush, which with earth surrounding it. It's like a plant. So therefore, it doesn't have a din of arla. Says the Gemara. After 3 years. After 3 years, it's in the field. It's within the first 3 years of the replanting of the tree. The owner of the olives takes the whole thing. So let's understand over here. You take these olive trees. Says the owner of the olive to the owner of the olive tree to the owner of the land. If you would go and plant new trees, you would not be able to enjoy it for the first 3 years. So now my trees came into your field, and you couldn't enjoy the first 3 years. You don't deserve them. If you plant new trees, you never get them. The first 3 years, you anyway don't touch them. So you don't touch mine either. So the owner of the tree should say, of the land should say, I mean, if I would plant it, after 3 years, I'll be the sole owner of the trees. Now you're eating half with me. So don't come and tell me, if you were planted, you're not going to tell after 3 years. If I were planted, you would not be here. The whole discussion was within 3 years. So here comes the owner of the tree, the owner of the land, the wild tree says, I want to take the fruits. Says the owner of the tree, 1 second, if you would plant it, you would not enjoy it. So now they do enjoy it, I get a chelik too. After 3 years, the owner of the karka says, sorry, you can't just plant your trees in my field. Now it's fine. You maybe have to pay him for the trees, but you can't take any more of the fruits. It says, because if I couldn't plant the tree myself, I'm going to pay for the trees, but now I need myself. So the owner of the tree should tell him, if you would plant it, now you won't have eaten anything. Now you're eating with me, so you're benefiting from me, so at least give me a benefit after 3 years as well. So I'll tell you why. I'm not benefiting so much from the fact that you have your trees in my field. If I would plant trees, yes, I would not be able to enjoy the trees. But I would have more space to plant vegetables. I wouldn't have a problem killing. Now they have big trees that take much more space. I have less space to plant vegetables. So I'm not really benefiting so much. So that's why I take half in the first 3 years. After 3 years, there's not a field, I take the fruits. So says the owner of the tree, okay, I want to take it back. Ain't Shem, you don't listen to it. My time on because you don't take it away. If it doesn't need a road to tell me this thing, I won't say it on my own, that the Rashi explains. And this took short hours over here, going to Gush. So we're saying when you have a tree with its earth, it's not chayav in oil. However, number one is that the shaila is the earth. How much earth do you need? The Rajba has a suffix with other. The Rajba in Yeshiva says, do you need earth that the tree should be able to last for 3 years without the new land? Or the earth could be even something that can keep the tree for 2 days. But as long as the tree can live, so it doesn't have a din of oil. Raj is not sure about it. Shulazam writes in Tshuva, therefore we're not so sure, and therefore we pass on the chumrah, and you need to have enough earth. If you want a tree from always done, it has to be enough earth that the tree can survive with that earth for 3 years. Another over here, so the Sefer is that Seifi. It's a very interesting discussion. When you have a piece of treif that falls into 2 pieces of kosher, the din is, for sure, midaraisa, sometimes even midarabanan, if it's a yavesh, it's batal b'roiv. Right? So the piece of treif fell into 2 pieces of kosher, it's batal b'roiv. Now all 3 pieces are kosher. Come, now let's say you have a story. Reuven owns the treif. It fell into 2 pieces of Shimon. Comes over to Shimon and says, Shimon, give me back my piece. He says, Shimon, 1 second. Your piece, before it fell into mine, was treif. Now it became kosher. So it's worth much more. Do I give you back the piece? Or do I give you back the worth of a treif? So the Achronim, when it brings about someone in the Jewish farm, yachleiku. It's like a combination. Without your treif, so I would have only 2 pieces. Without my 2 pieces, this will be treif. So we divide the profit that the tree became bigger. To bring it right from our sugya. Because our sugya, what do we say? When I have a tree of Arla, for the owner of the land, this is the tree of Arla. But because the tree came with a gush for somebody else, it's not tree of Arla. So you have your benefit. That benefit, okay. Says someone gets a field of his father's from the Nochi. We'll explain that in a moment. Yeah, so he does meiser. What does meiser? What's mikabel? What is meiser? Can't get bad. Rashi explains the sharecropper. They split 50-50. So the guy has the land right now. He hires a worker. The worker splits 50-50. Now, let's say you get here 100 fruits. Officially, it should have been that 50 belong to the guy, 50 belong to the Jew, and the Jew takes meiser on his own portion, which is 5. Says the guy, no. You take meiser on the whole thing 10. You give 50 to the guy. You left with 40. Now with 45. So the more explains why. Sabru. What is the avoiso? Eretz Yisrael. If my Karl is the avoiso, the Avram Yitzchak Yaakov. You know, it's Eretz Yisrael. We're not talking about a land that belonged to this person, this family. It was a land that belonged to Avram Yitzchak Yaakov. Eretz Yisrael. He holds this land doesn't belong to even though the goy owns it, it's still chayav ma'aser. The goy doesn't have the right to take away the kedusha of Eretz Yisrael. In addition, another thing, Rashi learns 2 different things. Mekab is like a choker. What does mekab is like a choker? A sharecropper is like a choker, which is a renter. A choker means someone who takes a land and he agrees he pays the owner of the land a set amount every year. It doesn't change. So there, the owner of the land is not considered to be the owner of the fruits because he gets the same amount. If the land gave out 10 pounds of fruits, if he made up with him, he paid 10 pounds. And the land did 10 pounds, he gets all 10 pounds. If the land made 10,000 pounds, he gets 10 pounds. So it's something to do with the fruits. He's not an owner of the fruits. So they hold that a sharecropper is like a choiker. So whatever he pays the guy is just a piron choiker, as the word explains. Ma choiker ben ovad ben lo yovad by a suri. Doesn't matter what he did, he has to do meiser. Umetele and give it to the owner. Why? He's not the owner. Is not going to be an owner of the fruits. He's the sharecropper, the choiker is paying him a lot. Now Rashi learns there's two points over here, two different reasons why to do meiser. First of all, you have to do meiser on the goy's chelik because the goy's chelik is still having meiser. Number one. Number two is also that a sharecropper is considered to be a choiker. Two different reasons. The two reasons go together. Because we're in Eretz Yisrael where you have meiser, therefore they made a sharecropper like a choiker. They gave the din of a sharecropper not to be a partner, but to be like someone who is perech. What do you do with the following person? The following person says someone gets a field of his father's from a matzik, meaning he's a bully, someone who took away, he's a thief. No, he's a goy. So he doesn't do Ma'aser as well. Ma'ir matzik, if you lay matzik down according to your explanation of the Mishnah, so it's not to do with the matzik. Every time a goy owns an Eretz Yisrael, you have to do it. A goy who owns the land is not having Ma'aser. And a sharecropper is not a choiker. According to Rashi, two different things. A sharecropper is a partner, and you're not obligated to do ma'aser for the goy. Ma'is de avoisov. What does it mean? Is de avoisov? Zde avoisov mamesh. Not talk about Eretz Yisrael. Talk about a land that used to belong to the father of this sharecropper. So they deal with the katsur abonin, and the recording is for him as well only. Why is that so? Because he really, because he likes it very much. It's more chavir from other people. The husband he goes and he's accepted as a sharecropper. Regular person, we don't do it. So, well, why the courtesy? What did he do wrong? What's Bar Rashi says, he will go and buy the field. I want him to buy the field back from the goy. So then I tell him, you be a sharecropper, I know he's going to be a sharecropper. And you have to pay much more, so eventually you'll buy the field. That's a rational. Differently, that he's not going to be willing to take it from the guy, and the guy knows he's not going to find anybody to work for him, and he will sell it to him for cheap. So the idea is you want to encourage him to take it. That's the reason. Why do you bring this whole case, as Rashi puts out? Because without this sentence, it says, without the explanation that we have now, we will not know how to explain this price. Now, here we have a discussion of Rishonim. So we brought a Mishnah, brought a Brisa. The Mishnah to explain it's Eretz Yisrael, and the Brisa to explain is Eretz Avosav. Does that change that explanation of the Mishnah? Rashi says yes. In other words, the way we read the Gemara, that's Pashtus. We learned the Mishnah want to explain one way. So they want to know, look at the Brisa. So now you can explain the Mishnah the same way like the Brisa. We're not talking about a regular coin. We're talking about a matzik. And we're not talking about Zdeh of Eretz Yisrael, we're talking about Zdeh Avosav. But the Baal Mor learns that the Mishnah stays the way we explained originally. And the Brisa is the only one we're changing. Says the Gemara, someone goes to the field of his friend and he plants his own trees. Says Rav, you go and you tell the guy, you get Rashi says, you get whatever is lower, either your expenses or the shvach, whatever your mashbiach in the field, whatever is worth less. You should measure how much he's willing to pay the owner to plant it. Whatever he's willing to pay, you pay this guy. Depends. If we're talking about a field which is meant to be planted, so you pay for the planting. You're not meant to plant it, you don't. How the Rabbi what Rabbi said, it wasn't, he said Meferish, it was a story. One came in front of Rav. Says, go pay him full value. Many of Shayim means like Shmuel. You pay him what you have to pay to plant. I don't want this. Okay, so give you Odat Tachtoinu. So I don't want that either. So the way the Ramban learns is the Ramban and Rosh have to understand the story. The Ramban learns this was a Sada Stomach. I don't know. Two points. There's three levels. There's a level of a Sada which is meant to be planted. There's a level of Sada which is not meant to be planted, but you're still getting benefit from it. and there's a level of soil that's not being planted, then you're not benefiting from it at all. And that's what happened here with Rav. The first case, in the beginning, we didn't know is it planted or not. So Rav assumes it's meant to be planted. He says, no, I don't want it. So okay, so you're not the it's not meant to be planted, but you get benefit from it. He says, I don't want that either. Meaning, I'm not even going to enjoy it at all. So if Chazid, the God, we come into it, then he started to put a fence around it, and he's guarding it. I'm like, I said, oh, you do want it. So he'll show him with the Yodel Yoin, have to pay him, the Yodel Yoin, Pashas like Shmuel, to pay him the full amount. Why? So according to Ramban, because it was an undesignated field, the minute he put a fence to it, he designated it to be as though they evil, as we said before. Someone went to a churba, a dilapidated house of his friend, and he built it. Comes the builder and says, I'm taking it back. You listen to him, you can take it back. Why? The chotzer of the owner is coin in the Eitzir Avodim, he just pays him his expenses. You want to say it's the same machlokes over here? He learns like the following brayso. The Tanya says the brayso shoyim loy divrei Rav Shimon Lazar, meaning that there's no machlokes even Basil agree. Rav Shimon Gamliel loy me b'Shamay Rav Shimon loy Basil loy Rav Shimon loy. It's machlokes b'Shamay Basil. In other words, it's machlokes and Basil disagree or not. My Yavel what l'maiseh? Umav Yaakov Rav Yochanan we have kufal on base on top. They buy shoyim loy in the house. We listen to him. We can take the Eitzir Avodim. So they ain't Shimon loy. But field we don't listen to him. Besode my time, why do you listen to Besode? Shum Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. Because if Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, that's why you have to listen to him. Mashpah House says less Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. We'll get back to it later in the Gemara. As the Mepharshim point out, we do find Yishuv Eretz Yisrael in the house, but at least it's not like a tree. He could have Yishuv Kach Shadar because the trees already nurture from the ground and ruin a little bit of the ground, so you leave the trees there. My B'nai Tzachim between the two answers, he can B'nai Chutzot. What happens if it's a Chutzot? You don't have Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, but you have Kach Shadar. Zog the Mishnah. Hamaskir bais lechaveir b'moisek shom. Someone rented a house to his friend in the winter months. He can't take him out from Sukkot until Pesach. The Gemara is going to explain it. Right now, the first part of the Gemara, the more understood, it means that whenever you give him for the winter, you meant for the whole winter. In summer, it's only 30 days. And in the walled city, in the big cities, you have to give it's 12 months. If it's a store, you always give 12 months. Why stores? Rashi explains it because they get a credit. They sell on credit. So you have to give them time to collect this credit. If he's going to move, nobody's going to know who to pay to. They didn't have websites then to pay. And we'll see the Gemara how that works. If it's a store of a baker or a place who dyes wool, so then it is 3 years, because it's 3 years. Usually, I think I was going to say, usually the credit is a 3-year credit. Says the Gemara, why the winter you don't take it out? Because someone who rents a house in the winter months, his intention is to be the entire winter. Says the Gemara, so when you rent for the summer, you're also renting for the entire summer months. What's the difference between the winter and the summer? So in the winter you can't find a new house. So in the summer you could find, that you can kick it out in the middle. So why in the same look at the next part of the Mishnah. The Krochi, if you're in this big cities, doesn't matter if it's winter or summer. It's 12 months. If the rent ended in the middle of winter, automatically you kick him out. According to your understanding, you can't find a house to rent in the winter, so you can't find a house over here. So well, you're right. The whole Mishnah is to announce, to let him know, to notify him, to give him notice. This is what we're saying. Someone who rents a house to his friend, it doesn't say how long. There's no end date. You can't take it out during the winter months. You need 30 days advance notice before Sukkot. Someone should say, you're going to be, you're right now renting my house. It's very good, but I need it out during Hanukkah. Because in the winter it's very hard to find, so you have to give them the 30-day notice before the winter starts. We said 30 12 months. You need to come and announce it. And here goes Rabbi Shvak now with the stores. When a person has a store, so he sells on credit. You give him a 12-month notice. From now on, he either doesn't sell on credit, or he puts a big announcement. I'm not going to be here in 12 months. You send the check to my house. The same way the landlord has to announce, also the tenant has to announce. Because the landlord says, if you let me know, I would find a new tenant who's a good person. So if one day of the winter came in, you can't take him out the entire winter. We said 30 days before Sukkot. So why saying one day of the winter? This is what we're saying. If one day out of the 30 days, in other words, if Tesov Elul came, then he's stuck till Pesach. If he wants to go and increase the rent, he could. Look at Rashi. Here you have to see Rashi inside. It's towards the end of the narrow lines. It's as if he's holding on to his beitzim to take away his task. What do you mean? If he has a rent paying $1,000, the guy's going to increase the rent to $20,000. Of course he's going to leave. That's considered to be kicking him out. So they want the tzricha the aikor bote. Talk about a case. They were talking about that the market went up. It's not a rent controlled. So if the market went up, yeah, you can't kick him out, but you can increase the rent to the market rate. So if the house of the landlord, his own private house, fell, he can kick out the tenant. Why? What's the reason I can't kick you out? Because it's very hard for you to find a house. I also can't find a house. So there's no part, you're not better than me. Zavne, if he sold the house, or orte, or he bequeathed it, or Yam Maton, he gave it as a gift. Amalei says the tenant, he tells that to the landlord, the same lease terms that I had with the owner, the previous owner I have with you, you can't kick me out. Zavne, sorry. Klal Libre, if the owner made it a base colors Libre, those days, you used to take a house and make near the chuppah, the shabrokos, and that would be the house for the kid. So he needs to marry his kid. Chazim, well then it depends. If he had time to announce it to the tenant before, he better do it, can't kick it out. If he did it was a last minute thing, only the same way you have to find a house, I have to find a house. It's not fair for me to look for a house when I own this house. Something more now, the following story. Oh, Gavril, the Zavan Arbudecham, he bought a boat full of wine. He doesn't have a place where to put the wine. So he told this woman, he said, do you have a place to rent out for me to put the wine? She said, no, not interested. Also, Kitcher, he was a Kaddish. So she gave him a place to put the wine. Also, he went to his house. He sent a cat and divorced her. Meaning, the only reason he married her is to put the wine. She went. She hired workers using the wine. He got a lot of wine, just sold some of the wine, took the money, used to hire workers. She took the wine, and put it out there in the street. Quick it out. Whatever he does, he got it back. He gets what he deserves. He tried to trick her to put it there, he gets what he deserves. If you're talking about a chotzer, it's not meant to be rented. So of course, why are you putting your thing in my field? Just because you tricked me. In my contract, of course you can take it out. And anything is meant to rent. What do you care? I want to rent it. Why give it to somebody else? I want to rent for everybody else. I'm not interested in renting to you. You like a hiding lion to come and attack. You can't trick me. You came and misused my trust, and therefore I don't want to rent to you. And she has the right to say that, and that's why she can basically remove all the wine and take it out. The Gemara ends, I say, They have three. You have to give an announcement for 3 years. What is the reason for that? Says the Gemara, Tano mipnei she'kefon merubo. Because the hekef is merubo. What does mean hekef is merubo? Means that they have 3 years of credit. So if you want to announce it, kick them out, they need to tell people 3 years in advance, I'm not going to give you any more credit. So you have to give him you have to give him the 3-year notice. Now, just to mention, in the Shulchan Aruch is the fascinating, a lot of these halachas are discussed among the poskim, Chashmir Shin Yud Beis. Now, first of all, we have a discussion what happens if he did a schirus stam. Doesn't mean the winter, does not mean the winter. So if you have a date, does that mean haridah? Right? You have a date on the lease. You're renting it for 1 year. Does that mean it means 1 year you leave in the middle of the winter? Or it means it's 1 year, but we probably get renew. Big discussion in the place. Now, what about the summer? How much you have to announce in the summer? Is there any limitations of how much you have to announce in the summer? Many of the Rishonim learn 30 days, because 30 days is the minimum. So that will be the discussion of summer. Now, what about if the tenant left without letting the landlord know? Does he have to continue paying rent or not? So the Shah Mishpat says that the Rambam says he has to pay, and the Shah Mishpat says even if he's not living, he still has to pay. Right? So the question is, why does he have to pay? It's like Garmi, he's causing him a nezek. Where comes the chiyuv? That's another discussion. And many other things. Very kedai to go through Siman Shin Yud Beis in the Shulchan Aruch there that goes through many of the cases that we had in our Gemara. We'll stop over here and Be'ez Hashem continue from the Mishnah in the next half.